My video project number 1 in the class Information Technology 2. First, we'll take a look at the table of content. Well, we'll look at the company I work for and what I do in this company. Then we'll take a look at Word. What is Word? We all know Word. And the theory in module 8 and 10. Then we'll take a look at the reality. After that, we'll look at Excel. What is Excel? The theory in Excel in module 8 and 9. Then we'll compare it to reality just like with Word. And I'll finish with my sources. First, what is OSL Retail Services? Well, their headquarters is in Ontario. They have big clients just like Walmart, Lowe's, MasterCard, Bell, TELUS, and Rogers. So they're basically a marketing firm, and their main goal is to improve the retail services. What's my job? My job is to sell the best cell phone plan for the client as a sales representative. Basically what OSL did is they took 4 of their biggest clients and they combined them together, which create the connection center in Walmart, where they represent Bell, TELUS, and Rogers. So what is Word? It's a word processor developed by Microsoft. So basically every time you have something to write, you can use Microsoft Word. What is the theory that we saw in module 8? We saw how to insert, edit, view, and delete a comments. As we can see on the first picture, it's pretty easy. You just click where you want to insert your comment, then click on new comments, and you edit. You write what you want in it. You can view later if you want, and you can delete it when you're done with that comment, which is good when you're working with someone else because you can leave them comments, or even if you're working alone and you want to say something but you're not sure, you just put in the comments and you can come back later. What is nice is that you can keep track of the change that you've done. So if you're two working on the same page, well, you can just click on track change and you'll take a look at what the other person changed or what even you changed in the document. Another thing that you can do with Word is compare and combine text. So basically, as we saw in the last picture here, there is compare, so we can compare two versions of a document, or you can even combine them together. So you can take a look at multiple others into a single document. In module 10, we took a look at the paper size, the page color, how to use the developer tab, and how to protect a form. Well, the paper size is pretty easy. You just, as the big picture you can see on the right, click on layout, then size, and you can size it as you want. Page color is pretty easy. You just go in design, then the right, you just click on page color and you choose the color you want. How to use the developer tab? Well, developer tab is pretty easy to record the macros, and you can even protect your things from there. If you do not have the developer tab, it's normal because you need to add it on the option from files, then option, then you add to your Word document. Then after, you can protect your form, which is really important if you're sending it to someone else, because you might not want them to change everything. You can do it with review, as we see on the picture on the left, or you can do it in the developer tab too. In reality, well, we do not leave comments in our documents when we use Word. We use post-it, which is not good for the environment and can be really bad because we can lose them if the other person did not take it on the next morning. And when we need to work more than one person on a big document, well, we use Google Doc, so we can work on it from everywhere. We do not need to be at the exact place where the word is on the computer of the word we're using. Then there's in module 10, we use the paper size for advertising, because from time to time we do advertising in the Walmart and we need bigger paper, so we adjust the size. but we do not use the developer tab because we do not use micro, and we do not protect our form, which could be good because from time to time we let our computer open and people could see what we're doing. And there's private information there, so we should protect. Excel. What is Excel? Well, it's a spreadsheet developed by Microsoft for Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. It features calculation, graphing tools, pivot tables, and a macro programming language called Visual Basic for application. In Module 8, we saw how to create and format a pivot table. As you can see over there, you just select all the data you want, then you click on insert, then on pivot table, and from the same data information you can also create a pivot chart, which could be important or nice if you want to see information on a different way. And you could also use slicers, where you can find it just on the right side of insert. As you see, it's not really clear, but there's slicer just up here on the top. In Module 9, we learn how to add data validation rules to cell. So just to be sure everything is good, well, we correct it and we use data validation, so we're sure all our spreadsheet is good. And then we learn how to add and use the solver. As we can see on the picture on the right, you need to go in Excel option, then add in, and after we add the solver, and with the solver we learn how to create a scenario summary report. In reality, well, we use pivot table to compare our cells from different months. From time to time we use pivot chart, but we basically use the pivot table, and we do not use format slicers, but it should be used because it's way easier to find information with it. Like if we want to compare 2 months, we just click on the 2 months we need from the format slicer. In Module 9, we do not use data validation because the spreadsheet are created by like the headquarters, so we do not modify them. Solver, well, it could be useful because from time to time we need to take a look at how many cell phones we need to sell during a certain time, and like which cell phone we should sell or which we should not sell. So it could be useful to know the minimum and the maximum cell phone we need or could sell. And after we could create a summary report to keep a track of that. So in conclusion, well, Word and Excel, we're already using both software in my job, and it's not close from theory, but like we're using simple tools that everyone understands, so it's normal that we not use all the advanced tools we saw in the theory. But I'm thinking that things could be improved in my job, which means the theory is a bit better than the reality. So, and now let's take a look at my sources. Well, I have my manager at OSL. I took myself because I'm working there. Jonathan Forbes, my teacher in Infotech 2. The book, Microsoft Office, information in Word and Excel. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it.